No.
But he also started on ADHD medication.
Oh,
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
Oh, boy.
I know. So that's Here's why I forgot about our encounter.
Because
you don't want to
Because
tell
I mentioned it to you in Austin,
and I said we had to talk about it.
and you said we'd have to talk about it. And I went, oh my god, this is not a good. Him and Tom Cruise
let's
are the
talk
same.
about it. I want to know.
So is it Adderall? Is that what you're on?
It's a Ritalin.
What?
I just worry about it. That's
Why?
all.
Because it's an amphetamine.
Yeah, it has the potential to stimulate those parts of the brain that we associate with addiction. Now, I'm not going to argue with success. You're doing great, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it has.
If your sponsor signs off on it,
he does, and I have an adverse effect to it. Almost, it's like I don't. When people say speed, it doesn't. It makes me. I could fall asleep right now.
Well, that's what it does to stimulant addicts. Stimulant addicts go down on stimulants.
Yeah, it's weird.
Typically,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but also so do ADHD and ADD patients too.
Yeah.
So you sort of
So
got,
yeah, it
What
makes
do they
me.
call it like when something has the opposite effect of something?
it's like idiosyncratic, really. It's
Yeah.
Idiosyncratic.
yeah.
That's what they call it.
But it is common. You know, not a lot of addicts necessarily spin up. This is what people get a little misconceived about. You know, I could tell when somebody's on meth. You may not, because sometimes they.
So you're worried that it's gonna trigger.
I worry it keeps the biology operating. You're doing all this hard work to stay sober, and part of the staying sober is letting those parts of your brain just re-equilibrate, and you might be tickling that part a little bit through all this time.
I'll tell you, doctor.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
And this has never happened before in my life. And this happens probably once or twice a week. I'll have a conversation with somebody at a comedy club, and halfway during the conversation, they'll go, "Whoa," and I'll go, "What?" And they'll go, "You're still here." And I go, "What do you mean?" It's like usually this is about the time where you walk away
during a conversation. No, I know it works.
And I want to listen.
Yeah,
and
don't get me wrong, it works.
And
Yeah,
it does work for me. And
Yeah.
if I wasn't on it, I would be. I don't know about my happiness, but I think I would be.
Hey,
What are alternatives to?
Yeah, what is the alternatives?
There are some non-stimulant ADD medications out there.
Are they just as effective?
No, they'd be different. I don't want to kid him. They're not as effective, but sometimes they are. Even clonidine, is one of those, Intuitive and this stuff. It's one of the medicines they use for this to try to avoid the stimulant part. But look, you're doing great, right? You just keep telling your sponsor what you're doing, and if he sees you start to go south, you'll have somebody there to tell you.
But what are the tell signs?
Your thinking gets fucked up.
I see.
You know how that works, right?
Yeah, I do.
This is the problem with addiction: is that it's not striving or preoccupying or craving. It's you start thinking things are good ideas that get you closer to a relapse, right? Including hiding from your sponsor, these things that you like. I don't want to tell them about this. Those are good ideas. That's your brain going, that's right, that's a good idea. Because then a little later on, we're going to try something else, and then a little more, and now we're all full in.
Could it give you like a false sense of confidence in those?
I don't know about false sense. It could. You mean the stimulant?
Yeah.
No,
Well, stimulant can make you grandiose if it's not working right. It can really go inflate.
I don't agree because
I don't see that.
Because since I've been on it, right, in the last 7 months or whatever, right, it's driven me into going to meetings more. Because I can still feel that if I don't, I'm depressed. I'm feeling not connected to people, and it's forced me to go. You know what? This is the feeling that you have when you go out. So I'm going to do a counter thing and just keep going to meetings. Right?
So this is why I'm not absolutely dogmatic about everything, right?
Okay.
Your sister's one flavor, and your dad did this thing that has ethical problems with it. But,
your dad did this thing,
but it's a thing that works for that kind of addiction.
Super unethical, I'll say.
And Bobby has multiple things going on, and if you don't pay attention to some of them, it can also take you out. So maybe he's at a stage right now where treating the ADD or ADHD. It's ADD, right?
ADHD.
Yeah, ADHD. And if you don't treat it properly, that's a risk, right? So it's you got to navigate. As long as he's looking good, doing good, being honest, being of service, telling the sponsor everything, you're in pretty good shape today. And again, it's one day at a time.
One moment at a time. And I also, everyone in the room, I want to say, if you see behavior right, that seems concerning,
Tell him, man. He'll tell
I
you,
would
"Fuck off.
love.
I've been there.
No,
many
no,
times."
no, 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 no. Hello.
Lieutenant, man.
Yeah. Listen,
I'm
all right.
fired. You're the lieutenant.
Yeah.
Now I'm really
no,
fired.
No, right? I'm letting everyone in this room call me out on it. Would you? I don't think you do it though, George. I think you're too scared.
He is really nice
There's
about